Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra Unit 8 Final Exam Review video number 2. Alright, if you stumbled by this by mistake, get your butt back and watch video number 1 and go through problems 1 through 6. Now, hopefully we won't have any technical difficulties and I'll be able to do everything on this up. Looks like we're already having problems. That's just great. Okay guys, looks like I get to do everything the old-fashioned way. So, number 7, here we go. First thing we always got to check, is there a GCF? I don't think so. All right, so we need to multiply 2 times 15 and we get what? 30. That's right. Now, if you need to fill that out, please do so, but you're looking for numbers that multiply to get to 30 and add to get to negative 13. Now, just for my sake, I'm going to do this because when I was doing it by myself, yeah, I messed up because I didn't get it right. And I was like, oh man, I got to do the quadratic formula. Because I tried 2 and 15. Okay, should we use 2 and 15 or should we use 3 and 10? I don't know. That's why we check them. So you guys check. Which one is it? Yeah, it's 3 and 10. Okay, make sure that you're doing this work. Okay, because negative 3 and negative 10 multiply to get to 30, and negative 3 and negative 10 add up to negative 13. So this one we have to split the middle term. We have 2x squared minus 3x minus 10x plus 15 equals 0. And now we break it up. The GCF of the first group is a x. The x comes out front, and then the remainder, 2x minus 3. What's the GCF of the back? Do you say negative 5? I couldn't hear you. So negative 5, and then our remainder is 2x minus 3, which is awesome because if these match up, it means that we did it right. So we have 2x minus 3. In our other set of parentheses, we have x minus 5. And remember, that's set equal to 0, so we got to go back and solve this. So we set everything with the variable equal to 0. I'm not going to solve that. You solve that. Go ahead and pause the video. Okay, and those should have been your answers. Now, if you had, instead of 1 over 5, if you had 3 over 2, that is correct as well, so don't worry about that. All right. Number 8. Number 8, our equation was 3x squared plus 6x plus 20 equals 0. Now, the first thing we always check is their GCF. So, is there one? No. Okay. So, then we need to multiply. 3 times 20 is 60. And we're looking for numbers that multiply to get to 60 and add to get to 6. Well, let's just figure out all the factors. We got 1 and 60, 2 and 30, good. 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, 6 and 10. So any of those gonna work? Nothing we can do. So how do we factor this? Oh, there's that wonderful song that Miss Carranza and Mr. Grice sang. X equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. Well, it looks like we get to use the quadratic formula. So just make sure you know what is your A, what's your B, and what's your C. Okay? So the opposite of B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all divided by 2A. All right? So there's your B, there's the A, and there's the C. Why don't you guys pause the video and see what you get? Let's see how much you remember. Okay, pause that video. Don't be copying my work. Okay, so underneath the square root, did you guys get negative 204? Yeah, can you take the square root of a negative number? No, you can't. So for number 8, we get no real solution as our final answer. Okay. All right, number 9. Oh man, I need those graphs. Let's see if this will work. Okay, I'll just have to write over here. I don't get to use this many cool colors, though. That's what I don't like. Anyways, how many solutions does each of the following quadratic function have? So when we're doing this, they're asking how many times does it cross the x-axis? Okay, remember the x-axis, that's that guy. So for number 9, our first graph, how many times does it cross? Yeah, twice. So that's how many solutions it has. What about the middle one? Yeah, the middle one, it only crosses once. And then the last one, does it cross at all? No. So if it doesn't cross at all, that's when it is no real solutions. All right. So determine how many solutions the following equation has. Now, when we do this, what we want to do is we want to solve for x. And when we solve for x, we're going to use SADMAP. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to draw the line down the middle. Oh, that's too thick. Let's see if this looks better. Okay, so as we're using SADMAP, we want to get rid of addition or subtraction first. So for me to do that, I need to add the 5 to both sides. And as we do that, negative 5 plus 5 is 0. And that's the only thing that we change. Now we've gotten rid of the subtraction, so now we need to get rid of what? Yeah, the multiplication. And to get rid of multiplication, we divide. And 0 divided by 2? Oh man, this is so nice. We haven't had to use a calculator yet. Cool. Well, what about now? How do I get rid of the exponent? If you watched my first video, I kind of gave you the answer. Yeah, we take the square root of both sides, and the square root of 0 is, yeah, 0. So we have 0 equals x minus 9. To solve for x, all you have to do is add the 9 to the other side, and we get that x equals 9. Now, it's not asking us what the answer is, it's asking us how many solutions there are. So how many solutions did we have? Yeah, we only had 1. So the answer is 1 solution. All right. Number 11. It says determine how many solutions the following equation has. So whenever we're doing anything like this, the first thing we want is to set it equal to 0. All right. So as we set it equal to 0, I need to look at our highest exponent. And that's the squared, and it's kind of all by itself because there's no x squared on the right side. So I need to move everything on the right side to the left side. And what do we get? 7x squared plus 1x, good. You can put the 1 there, that's fine. Plus 3 equals 0. Now, there's a really fast way to figure out how many solutions it has, and that's by using the discriminant. Okay, I probably spelled that word wrong, so don't tell Ms. Carranza. Now, the discriminant is the part underneath the square root of the quadratic equation, the b squared minus 4ac. Okay, if our answer was positive, it had 2 solutions. If it was 0, we had 1 solution, and if it's negative, we have no real solutions. Okay, so we need to know what our A, B, and C are, and then just plug it in. So b squared, that would be 1 squared minus 4 times A times C. Okay, you can plug that all into your calculator, or you can do it by hand. It doesn't really matter. Well, you do it. Let's go. Come on. Chop, chop. Okay, when you do it, you should get negative 83. And since it's a negative answer, that's right, it's no real solution. Okay, number 12. A construction worker drops a brick off of the roof of a building that he is working on. The path of the brick is represented by the equation h equals negative 16t squared plus 12t plus 60, where t is the time in seconds and h is the height of the brick above the ground in feet. How high off the ground will the brick be after 2 seconds? So we need to ask ourselves, when we're doing this, are we looking for h or are we looking for t? And it all determines on what they gave us. And they told us the time. They told us 2 seconds. So that means we're looking for h. Well, how do we find h? By plugging in the time. Okay, so we need to plug in 2. So go ahead and use your calculators and plug that in. You can pause the video, that's fine. I'm waiting for you, come on. All right, you should be getting that h equals 20 feet. If you didn't get that, you need to talk to Ms. Carranza or myself because you're doing something wrong with your calculator. Remember, calculators are only as smart as the people who push the buttons. All right, number 13. A pencil falls off your desk in the middle of class. The path of the pencil is represented by the equation h equals negative 16t squared plus 4, where t is the time in seconds and h is the height of the pencil above the floor in feet. How long will it take for the pencil to hit the floor? So here's our question. How long will it take for the pencil to hit the floor? What did they tell you? Did they tell you the height or did they tell you the time? Well, right now they're asking how long, so they're talking about time, which means they told you what the height was. Yeah, the height's the floor, and that is 0. So we have 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 4. How on earth do we solve this? Is there a linear term? No, there's no linear terms, so we can use inverses. So I'm going to subtract the 4 to both sides, and we get -4 equals -16t squared. We have to divide both sides by -16. Now, when we get this, I'm going to write my answer as a fraction. It's going to be positive because it's a negative divided by negative, and 4 over 16 reduces to 1/4. Now, to get the exponent out of there, because it's being to the squared, blah, blah, I'm sorry, guys. So we have to take the square root. Now, remember that we get 2 answers here. Okay, you should get a positive 1/2 and a negative 1/2. Or if you're using your calculators, that's going to be 0.5 and -0.5. And can we have a negative time? No. Okay, so our time is 0.5 seconds. Hopefully we finished that video before that bell rang. Anyways, if you need help or any extra assistance, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. We'd love to help you out. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra Unit 8 Final Exam Review. Thanks for watching.